Hello. So I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Lois Richards, and I am the Logistics and Operations Lead for the demi-fine jewelry company Astrid and Miyu. After working with some of the largest multi-brand e-commerce retailers, such as Harvey Nichols, Joseph Fashion, Cult Beauty, and Tomorrow London, this is my first position fully leading SME operations. Unbeknown to some, packaging plays a vital role in both e-tail and retail industries, whether that be the branded gift packaging that holds the product itself, or the outer mailer boxes that our carrier networks handle on a daily basis. Today, I would like to talk through one of Astrid and Miyu's most recent projects, our Q3 packaging launch, and subsequently its operational impact on supply chain. To use industry terminology, I will refer to the product packaging as the primary packaging, and our outer mailers as the secondary packaging. At Astrid and Miyu, we pride ourselves in the idea of our jewelry being a gift, either from me to you or me to me. According to McKinsey & Co., the industry is beginning to encourage the convergence of primary and secondary packaging. But at Astrid and Miyu, every order should be perceived as a gift, in turn offering both primary packaging and secondary packaging as the default option. Let's talk about our old packaging suite. As default, all items used to come in a reusable canvas pouch, and then at checkout, the customer would individually select which items they would like to be gift wrapped, whether that be in a gift box, a gift bag, gift wrap, or any combination of the three. These gifting combinations would then pull through with a unique gifting ID onto the warehouse dispatch note, which indicated the need for the warehouse teams to individually wrap each gift, as well as then color code the gift to tell the customer which item was inside the gift wrap. As well as this, our packaging was not assigned to an inventory SKU, so orders were at times shipped without the gifting components. This in turn slowed down warehouse operations, provided a very confusing customer experience at both pre and post purchase stages, and sometimes resulted in unwanted returns. On top of this, due to limited system capabilities, the warehouse were given free rein to pack orders in any of our 3 primary gift boxes and any of our 6 outer mailer secondary options. As stated by Baymard Institute, while offering gifting options can provide a bespoke level of service, it will also introduce an additional layer of complexity that can make users' checkout experience way more confusing. This was a very clunky experience for all, with increased possibility for human error by the warehouse team, increased customer queries, and empty boxes being sent out as replacement orders. Despite us offering a default canvas pouch and an opt-in gift option, the majority of our customers opted in for gifting. Some say there may be no right time to update your packaging suite, but for multiple reasons, now is the perfect time for Astrid and Miyu. The old packaging was pink, feminine, and fun-loving. This works really well when targeting a specific customer group, but Astrid and Miyu wanted bigger and better. As stated by SCMP, sustainability awareness amongst luxury brands is on the rise amid growing environmental concerns and heightened expectations from consumers. With both sustainability and premiumization at the forefront of our company vision, Astrid and Miyu decided it was time for a change. The team outlined these key reasons for the change: to keep branding up to date, to separate branding identities of subcategories. From a sustainability perspective, we needed to reduce the amount of dead space inside the packaging, alongside removing dreaded inserts, and above all, minimizing the potential for missing deliveries. The Astrid and Miyu team sat down and had multiple cross-functional sessions to clearly identify what we wanted from our new and improved packaging suite. Firstly, we have moved away from canvas pouches and foam infills to reusable suedette pouches and FSC-certified recycling gift boxes. Secondly, we have introduced a second product line of solid gold pieces. Thirdly, we have gone from an array of gift boxes and outer mailers that were selected on a free-for-all basis to 4 set sizes that are selected through mapping of packaging codes on our back system. We have lowered our potential theft rates, and we have moved from a pink color scheme to a more premium and more tasteful neutral and mint green color palette. And finally, we now have the ability to report on packaging replenishment through system codes and mapping. As you can see, all changes are a move in the right direction towards a more sustainable and premium future. As promised, the aim of this presentation is to outline the impact of launching new packaging on business operations. To put things into perspective, here's an example of what our previous process flow might have looked like. Based on the gifting ID that pulls through from the front end to the back end, the warehouse would select the respective gift box, gift bag, gift wrap combinations, and then select their preferred outer mailers. Due to the multiple box dimensions of these outer mailers, we had 4 separate carrier codes for Royal Mail alone, which I will go into in more detail shortly. As you can see, the web mapping combinations was a recipe for disaster. Introducing our new packaging suite. It's slick, it's tasteful, and it's overall much more elevated. As mentioned, we now have 2 product lines, our mainline collection and our solid gold collection. The mainline SKUs come either in small, medium, or large default gift boxes, dependent on the size of the product, and then despite the item already coming in a default gift box, the customer then has a choice of selecting the added gift option, as you can see on the right. Instead of the warehouse needing to gift wrap individual products, the gift bag and tissue paper is now provided alongside the product. This reduces the pick-pack time at the warehouse, creates opportunity to scale operations, and in turn, the customer can gift wrap the item as they wish. Alongside the mainline packaging suite, there's more of a focus on the presentation of the solid gold product offering, as this naturally comes at a higher price point. The solid gold packaging is elevated as it comes in a more neutral gift box, along with a product care booklet, a cleaning cloth, tissue paper, and a gift bag as default. To put it simply, we now have 3 default gift box options with an added and simplified gift option, as well as a premium solid gold packaging suite. As mentioned, the mainline units are pre-packed in a reusable pouch inside the default gift box, whereas the solid gold units come with these components. As well as the primary branded packaging, we also streamlined our mailer box offering from 5 mailers to 3 mailers. This allows us to forecast and report efficiently and minimize decision paralysis within the warehouse. Of course, the branding of these boxes complements the branded gift boxes, but one final thing to mention is that these new mailers are self-adhesive, totally eliminating the need for packaging tape. Adhering to our sustainability goals, this fold and go functionality was a win-win for all. And finally, here are some prototypes that we drew up along the way. We trialed multiple variations of branded boxes with mailers, but finally signed off our top 3. The small one is outlined in image 1, the medium one is outlined in image 3, and then the large one is outlined on the bottom right, which facilitates the larger mainline orders, gift orders, and solid gold orders. Fast forward to now. This is an example of our new process flow, a million miles from what it was. Despite our packaging being visually elevated, it is known that a streamlined process can lead to fewer errors and delays, increased operational efficiency, and improved quality of work. A process as refined as this is much easier to communicate as well as to operate. Just to touch on our new and improved process, as mentioned, we now have the 2 product categories, our mainline and expanded solid gold line. All mainline SKUs, which include a default box, each of the three sizes, small, medium, and large, are assigned to a systematic packaging code within our ERP system, so that, for example, the smaller earrings will pull through with an S indicator, whereas a chunkier necklace will pull through as an L indicator. This improves warehouse efficiencies and improves our ability to report and forecast on packaging. From a customer experience perspective, having a gift box as default is much easier to communicate to customers, and also removes the risk of a customer receiving a knotted necklace in a canvas pouch, as well as reducing the likelihood of the warehouse missing a gift box from an order. If a customer then selects the gift option at checkout, this will pull through as a gifting SKU, and gifting components such as a gift bag and tissue paper will also be included in the order. The fact that the warehouse now doesn't need to individually wrap each item also increases warehouse efficiencies. With focus on our solid gold product, all solid gold SKUs have also been tagged at SKU level with the letter G. If the warehouse sees this on the dispatch note, this then indicates that all the SKUs will need to be packed in a solid gold gift box, along with a pouch, cleaning cloth, booklet, gift bag, tissue paper as default. Due to the new dimensions of the mailer boxes, all orders will now be shipped on 2 shipping options rather than 4. This improves logistics efficiencies, carrier porting, and sustainability efforts. As I have briefly mentioned, creating new packaging is so much more than just changing the color of a box. Here are some key considerations that we discussed along the way. Firstly, the new industry standard skinny design. Experts at McKinsey & Co. have coined the term skinny design, which simply means smaller and better. From an operational perspective, it means less material cost, it means less shipping cost, it means more product on the shelf, fewer stockouts, and above all, less environmental impact. As Dave Fedora from McKinsey said, it's sort of a win-win-win solution. A couple of other areas to consider throughout the packaging project were, firstly, outer mailers. Always consider both primary and secondary packaging simultaneously. Secondly, overflow mailers. Do we need to consider any overflow packaging sizes that we may need for peak products such as advent calendars? And then finally, surface design. How on brand can the outer mailers be without encouraging theft? At Astrid and Miyu, our 4-point star is a brand icon, but if we add the print to the outer boxes, will this attract potential for theft? And will it spoil that gifting surprise for a loved one? And now that the process has been defined, it's important to make sure that all the packaging information flows through from our ERP into our WMS. As discussed, each individual SKU has been assigned a packaging code, so smaller items are assigned an S gift box, medium are assigned an M gift box, and large. Instead of the unique gifting ID, the coding is much easier to read on the warehouse dispatch notes. For mainline orders, the gift option then pulls through with a gift SKU, which clearly identifies the need for a gift bag and gift tissue paper. And then finally, the solid gold SKUs are assigned to a product tag in the form of a letter G, so every time the warehouse sees this, they must follow the solid gold packaging guidelines. Now that the packaging suite has been signed off from a design perspective, this is where the operational conversations come into play. Step 1. This might be a miss for some, but it's good to consider if we have enough warehouse space to store multiple pallets of new packaging. Firstly, does your warehouse have overflow capacity? And secondly, if not, do you have excess pallets of old packaging designs that need to be recycled or shifted in a given period of time? Step 2 is to negotiate packaging rates. One of Astrid and Miyu's chosen carriers is Royal Mail. Royal Mail offer 2 different shipping rates based on the weight and dimension of each order. These are referred to as a parcel rate and a letterbox rate. The letterbox rate is available for any orders below 1 kg and within the dimensions of 35 by 25 by 2.5 centimeters, and any orders that sit outside this are shipped on a parcel rate. Previously, our standard orders with just a canvas pouch could be shipped on a letterbox rate, and the gift orders with additional gifting components were shipped on a parcel rate. Looking at the new packaging suite, we actually agreed that the dimension of all our new mailers would sit on the larger packaging parcel service. This may come as a surprise to some, but our reasoning is as follows. Firstly, the smaller packaging with no foam infill was a more sustainable due to less material used. The smaller packaging was more sustainable from a freight perspective in terms of more units per shipment. And then thirdly, the delivery success rate is likely to increase with more orders fitting through some letterboxes rather than having to be left in a safe place. And then step 3, once the teams carried out rigorous packaging tests, including weather resistance, carton drop tests, and IATA regulation considerations, the next test is the warehouse pick-pack test. The creative teams then went on to send prototypes of all branded packaging and mailers to the warehouse. The warehouse team then demoed how quickly they could assemble each box and if the pick-pack times and rates needed to be reviewed. And step 4. Finally, now that the branded boxes and outer mailers have been fully signed off, the suppliers have begun production and boxes are halfway through their sea freight journeys. The warehouse now needs to be provided with a detailed inbound forecast and all packaging components as well as their respective quantities, tracking information and delivery dates. The logistics team then had to work to ensure that all branded packaging was delivered on pallets into the warehouse in time for launch. And then step 5, based on the packaging schedule that we've just discussed, the warehouse team would then need to ensure that all packaging is in one place, ready for our in-depth training session. The Astrid and Miyu team then made their way up to the warehouse to carry out in-person training. Because of the newly streamlined process, this training took no time at all. Once the warehouse team knew to keep an eye out for the gift box codes, the gifting SKUs, and the solid gold indicators on the dispatch notes, they were well away. From a carrier and customer experience perspective, the final point to note that the shipping labels should then be attached to the left-hand side of each mailer to ensure that the shipping labels were not tampered with, and it ensures a more seamless customer experience when they open the parcel. This new process was very well received by all. So this should be a video of the new packaging, and you're able to see it on either LinkedIn or Instagram. And then lastly, I'd like to conclude that above all, your motivation for changing your design should be evident. Keep the why in mind throughout the entire process. And some may say the best practice is to update your packaging every 3 to 5 years, but is now the time for a fresh new look. Thank you for listening. And if you've got any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Michael Batchelor, DSV. 2 questions, actually. First question is, you keep talking about the warehouse. Is this an in-house warehouse, or do you guys use a 3PL?
3PL.
And did you involve the 3PL? My question is, let me rephrase. How much was the 3PL involved, and how early in the phase did you involve them? And my second question, which is kind of a small one, is how did you cut down on packaging styles and at the same time reduce dead weight inside the box? Or dead space.
So basically so from a warehouse perspective, they weren't involved in the process for the majority of the project. So obviously we outsource our packaging, we get the packaging delivered into the warehouse. The warehouse are very accommodating, so they will operate however we need them to operate. So obviously we shipped our new packaging into the warehouse. We went up to the warehouse, created a training manual, and we were like, forget the old process, this is how you need to pack now. And like I discussed, the previous process was very complicated, so I think they were grateful from an operational perspective because it was so much easier for them to negotiate as well. So that was the warehouse input. And then secondly, the conversation about the dead space, the creative teams worked really hard because looking at the previous selection of boxes, they couldn't really justify why we had so many different variations, because we just looked at how many units per order. It's approximately 2 to 3 units per order, and then based on that, they kind of trial and errored it, and then they decided they didn't need these really awkward sizes. And yeah, our jewelry is very, very minuscule, so it was an obvious given that we can provide a beautiful end product with minimal packaging. So it's very thin, very sleek, through letterbox. Yeah. Thank you.